Alright, Section B. The work of the carman upholster. The passengers receive the shop that prepares the upholstery part to remove the upholstery shop. Some of these parts for the seat cushions, seat backs, chair cushions, chair backs, sofa design, and cars and parlor chairs are greater many styles of variety, some of which they are entirely covered with upholstery, others having only a portion of the seat and arms and back upholstered. Some of this upholstered equipment is covered with plush, or some of them with leather, Spanish imitation leather, fabricoid, frieze-type tapestry, mohair velvet, chase duck, or rattan. The upholsters or repairs willow furniture. Besides the above equipment, the upholstery manufacturers prepare mattresses, certain awnings, tarpaulins, tents, leather, mail pouches, sashes, suburban carved straps, draperies, table to cover the table, pads, pilo, accordion, hoods, the locomotive car, curtains, armrest, cushions. He also sews and lays carpet of the easel, strip that repairs curtain rods. He also cleans and dyes and plushes seat cushions, backs, and clean carpet of the curtains, leather rattan seat backs. Are the tools and machinery for the performance work with the upholstery used with the following machinery tools: punches and dies, fastenings, eyelets, grommets, and riveting the springs. Punch usually operated by an air cylinder, punching the holes in the steel bands from the part of the sum of the style of the cushions and backs. Picking up the machine with the screw, spread oil, curled hair, and shacking some of the dust from it. The power steering machine, the motor-driven revolving brushes, the clean cushioning and backings, dye wash tubes in which the fluids are heated with the released steam. The above equipment is furnished by the company, the additional to which the use of his own tools, comprising the following: 3 upholstered tack hammers, 1 wooden mallet, 2 blunt chisels, which tacks are removed without injury to the fabric. 10, the upholstery needles from 2 to 8 inches in length, some curved and some straight. 2 upholsters pliers, stretching forth fabric tightly over the work. 1 cutting the pliers, 2 to 3 other pliers, 1 hand drill, 1 hacksaw, 3 screwdrivers, 4 large shears, 1 small scissors, 1 tinner snipper, 3 awls, 2 3 sharp knives, 3 punching different size repairing curtain rollers, 2 or 3 flat files, beeswax used in the thread of the moisture-proof to toughen it and cause it to draw easily through the closing of the fabrics, making a spring edge seat. In the manufacturing spring edge cushion, the operating with the order of the performance is fouled. The frame wood with the slats is screwed together by the carpenters assigned by the work. The upholstery fastens the coiled springs to the stalls with a small staple. The springs are then tied with the heavy twine one to the other. The ends with the twine are fastened to the frame with the staples. Each spring is tied so that the twine will uphold it upright, and the knots are such that they will not slip. The reins to the edge of the strings of the upholster bends and ties the piece of the heavy steel wire from the purpose of the making the edges of the springs regular and somewhat strength at the edges. The springs are covered with a piece of the canvas drawn with tightly over the nail of the seat floor. The upholstery then applied with the lighter color curled hair. When the spreads over the canvas, one of the layer of the curled hair applied with the sheet of the burlap, which draws tightly across the seat, firmly down through the hair of the canvas about 1 inch of the edge of the wall around the seat. Leaves the space about 1 inch around the edge of the canvas. Hair is not covered by the burlap. He then fills up the 1 inch with the curled hair and rolls it into the burlap, sewing it hard and tight as possible. As making this rolling and sewing, tacking edges of the burlap down the seat frame. This results in the burlap covered the seat having a raised hair roller edge. The upholsterer then covers the burlap with a level layer of the curled hair over which the stresses the sheet of the muslin and the tacks on the underside of the street frame. The plush for the cover next applied with the brought down around the edge of the seat and tacked to its bottom. Applying the cover of the upholsterer must know how to fit the corners so that they lie within the known upholstery exposed. The above job is properly done more frequently than any others upholstery. The experienced workman would be not able to work with this. An inexperienced workman would not be able to work with this. Even the mechanics or the housing and furniture are unable to perform the various operations without a great deal of instruction and demonstration. Difficulties to be experienced. An experienced workman not knowing the correct number, the size of the coil springs that go into the seats, the various dimensions, they would know how many staples each spring required. The most difficult operation of tying of the springs, the most undoubtedly tie down with the spring far out of the balance, causing them to slip the place of making the uncomfortable seat to ride on. The worthy mechanics of the craft would share with the blame of the poor workmanship. The non-mechanics, instead of taking a neat uniform row of tacks and correctly spacing the materials, tacking a zigzag row, either spread too far apart or too close. Some of the tack heads would not be done with it, while others would be beaten through the fabric instead of the stitching near smooth, but the rolled edge would wither. The thin punch pinch, baggy, clumsy, and out of proportion. The inexperienced workman would be compelled to cut and fit and apply his own seat coverings. It would be unfamiliar for the company to entrust this material, costing from $6 up per yard to this care. Alright, your patent spring top. Some of the cushions are equipped with the patent spring tops, in addition with all the other spring covering. The two each with the roll of springs or application of the frame is riveted in the cabins, having glued with a succession short narrow piece of the light wood. The piece of the wood are cut and glued in the canvas ribbons of the cabinet maker in the cabinet shop. They serve, make more level seats and prevent the springs from work loose from the forcing of the way up through the upholstery. The two-part seat back. The two-part back of the back, commonly seen in railroad daily coaches, constructed similarly with the cushion seat. The two-part seat with the back is having the headrest built in separately from the lower portion of the back. The different heights of the springs are used to form the slope of the back. The hollow between the head of the rest and lower section of the back of the form with the tacking down of the cabins burlapping across the rail at this point across the back. The muslin underneath the cover is made of the seam going across the back of this point. The muslin is laid with the rough side of the seaming up with the cover when applied. It's sewed in seat back upholstery and the sides alike. Other work. There are a great many types of the seat back cushion, spring edge with the hard edge, with some of the steel slats of the bands over the springs, somewhat the entire frame of the seal. The upper holster manufactured rattan covered seats for the backs, repairs them in insertion with the new strips of the rattan, which work must be done with that no sharp points sticking up on the cover. The upholster makes the seat and mechanisms in the cars in order to give the carpenter the proper dimension, the ordering of the frame, the setback. He must measure all the rooms of the cars. He must lay the carpet and cut it in, allowing space from the base of the seat with the chair fixed to the floor. He must seal the binding around all the edges of the openings when the car is laid. It must be freely fit perfectly with no bulges. It must cover the entire floor. The upholsterer repairs the curtain. Repair holders applies new certain fixture parts, making the correct length. The upholsterer takes the measurement of all the such equipment as draperies, curtains, linen, cover the seat backs and mattresses, taking the tablecloths and like articles, the cutting and sewing of which is done with the power sewing machine. All canvas roof of the passenger cars and the cabooses are cut and applied with all upholstery, and doing this work, the mechanic must carry the heavy roll of the canvas to the car, up a step of the ladder through the roof, where he measures the cutting and nails it into the crown, even the moldings in which some of the manner is to while tightly cover the roof surface with light, leaving no opening for the minutes of moisture. Plushing renovation. After upholstery of the seats and the backs have been repaired, the plush of the covers have not been removed. They have not yet been bright clearance appearance for the fresh coat of the new cover. The seats of the backings have faded. The sand and dirt covers are taken to wash up, where they can be scrubbed clean and rinsed when dry or dyed. Cleaning in order to more thoroughly clean them, the revolving brush in order to scrub them while wet. The brushing of the heavy bristles, about 9 inches in diameter, 20 inches long, is hung on the pipe rods, which are hinged at the top of it in order to allow the brush to swing back and forth over the work. The brush is rapidly rotated to the by a belt with a shafting and motor underneath. Revolving the brush is the movable cradle upon which the seat of the backs of the cushions are placed, and the brush is moved over them. When one side of the back is scrubbed clean, the upholsterer turns it over and scrubs the other side. The cradle is over the height of the bring to the flat surface of the seat. The back against the brush of the bring, properly clean. The corners and edge of the upholstery must hold it in the brush himself. Alright, dyeing. Where the backs of the cushions have dried with the dip into solution of the dye, the different colored cushions require a different colored solution of dyeing. The most common are green, red, and gold. The different dyes generally furnished for the form of the liquid are mixed with the proper quantity of the water, making the solution. After dyeing, the cushion and seat backs are set with the rolling racks to dry. The work of the cleaning, dyeing with the plush equipment is very unattractive. The mechanic usually works at high-speed labor, particularly with exhausting when using the resolving brush. The workmen must hold these cushions and backs against the firmly as they weigh to 20 to 60 pounds of the work is heavily, especially with the number of the cars that are doing with a heavier type of the cushion's backs. It has been noticed that the push cleaners do not remain long as occupation when they are first on the job, that they greatly lose the weight. The rattan covered seats backs are cleaned with the scrubbing with the solution of lye, which is prepared by the mechanic. While he must wear rubber gloves when rinsed and dried. They are varnished by painters. Responsibility. The upholsterer is generally assigned to prepare all the upholstery of the one car and left with the judgment of the repair of the various cushions, back, and the furniture requirement that he receive the very little supervision, careless thoroughness, through which he does the work generally entrusted into him. There is no doubt mistaking the poor workmanship on the hidden parts, but could be concealed from sight and would not be detected in inspection after the job has been completed. However, the job carelessly done or a part not well constructed would not give the same service of one done thoroughly. Some of the material which is he works on the various valuable most ways with his sense of economy. The material with which he works is dry and inflammable. He must use the care so that none of it will contact the oils and fires. All right, working condition. The majority of the upholsteries are lighted, but the heated, but they're somewhat the space allotted is small, which results in the overcrowding and inconvenience. The upholstery must endure the discomforting that arises with the great amount with the dust articles repaired to do the dust landing of the atmosphere. He works with the upholstery continually with the subject of the skin infections and probability of the contracting tuberculosis is high. And you've the curled hair is most of his work. He is dangerous contracting anthrax epidemics, and which sometimes occur among the employees at the shop using curled hair. After his days working with that has been completed, the upholsterer is always required to wash on his own time. Quality of the work. The railroad car of the country bearing an eloquent witness for the quality of the work of the carman upholsterer must have the seat upon the seat cushion that have been done service 2 or 3 every 4 hours within the repair, during which time it has been subjected to the hardest kind of service. The baggage of all description has been piled up on it, and children have danced on it, and it has never been a forced footrest for a traveler yet. The cushion still that retains the shape of the silence. For any traveler that have ever been in sharp contact with the coil spring, however many cushions were seen, a hole in the middle of the common defect of the house fortune caused with the shifting springs and insecure paddings. The work of the carman upholsterer everywhere bears the witness to his skill. Section C, cabinet work.